The water was rising. She could hear it through the walls, a deep rumbling that made the crystal towers hum. Everyone was running, screaming, but she stood still. She'd seen this before. In dreams, in visions, in moments of knowing that made no sense, until now. Close your eyes and feel it. The air is thick with salt and something else, something electric that makes your skin tingle. You're standing on smooth stone that's warm beneath your bare feet, polished by thousands of years of footsteps. Above you, the sky is shifting from blue to something darker, something angry. The ground trembles, not violently, not yet, just a warning, a whisper that says everything is about to change. And in the distance, you can see them, the great towers made of crystal and gold, reaching toward the heavens like prayers frozen in time. This place has a name you shouldn't know but somehow do, a name that's been buried under ocean and time and forgetting. Her name is Rebecca. She's 41, lives in Portland, works as an accountant, never been particularly spiritual, never believed in past lives or reincarnation or any of that. But something happened 6 months ago that changed everything. She was at the beach with her daughter. Just a normal day, walking along the shore. And then she saw it. A flash, a vision, towers rising from the ocean, massive structures that shouldn't exist. And she heard a word whispered in her mind, Atlantis. She shook it off, told herself it was just her imagination. Too much sun, too much stress from work. But the visions kept coming, in dreams, in meditation. Even just sitting at her desk, she'd suddenly see flashes of another time, another place, another life. She started researching, reading everything she could find about Atlantis. And the more she read, the more she recognized. The descriptions matched what she was seeing. The technology, the architecture, the way the people lived. It was like reading her own memories, written by someone else. That's when she found the regression practitioner, booked a session. And now, lying here in this chair, eyes closed, breath slowing, she's about to find out if those visions were real, if Atlantis was real, if she was there when it fell. The first thing she notices is her body. It's younger, stronger. She looks down and sees hands that aren't quite her hands. The skin is smoother, darker, sun-kissed. She's wearing something white, a simple robe that flows when she moves. And around her neck, a crystal, clear as water but glowing faintly from within. She's standing in a courtyard. The ground beneath her is made of white stone that seems to glow with its own light. Around her are pillars, tall and elegant, supporting a roof that's open to the sky. Through the openings, she can see them, the towers, hundreds of them, maybe thousands, rising from the city like a forest of light and stone. Each tower is different. Some are made of crystal that catches the sunlight and splits it into rainbows. Some are gold that shines so bright it's hard to look at directly. Some are a combination, crystal and metal woven together in patterns that seem impossible. And at the top of each tower, a larger crystal. These aren't decorations, they're tools, technology, power sources. She knows this. Somehow she knows this. A voice calls her name, but it's not Rebecca, it's something else. Arya. Her name here is Arya. She turns and sees a man approaching, tall, strong features, dark hair pulled back. He's wearing robes similar to hers, but his are blue, marked with symbols she recognizes as signs of rank. This is Kale, her teacher, her mentor. You're late, he says, but there's warmth in his voice, not anger, just teasing. I was watching the ocean, Arya replies, and her voice sounds different, younger, more musical. Something feels wrong today. Kale's expression shifts, becomes serious. You feel it too. They walk together through the courtyard, down steps carved from white stone, into the city proper. And Rebecca, watching through Arya's eyes, feels her breath catch, because the city is alive, thriving, more advanced than anything that exists in her time. The streets are wide and clean, no trash, no pollution. People move through them on foot or on platforms that float a few inches off the ground, guided by thought rather than touch. Buildings rise on all sides, each one a work of art. Nothing is uniform, nothing is mass-produced. Every structure is unique, designed with purpose and beauty in perfect balance. And everywhere, the crystals. Small ones in homes, medium ones in public spaces, massive ones at intersections. They glow softly, providing light, providing power, providing something else Rebecca can't quite name. Information maybe, or consciousness. They're connected somehow, all of them, a network. The council meets today, Kale says as they walk. They'll want to hear your report. Arya nods. Rebecca feels her nervousness. They won't believe me. They must. The signs are clear. They enter a large building. Inside, it's cool and quiet. The walls are lined with more crystals, these ones displaying images, not on screens, just floating in the air. Maps, charts, data streaming past too fast to read. They climb stairs that spiral upward, and with each step, Rebecca feels Arya's dread growing, because she knows what's coming. She knows what she has to tell the council, and she knows they won't listen. The council chamber is at the top of the building. It's a circular room with a domed ceiling made entirely of crystal. Through it, you can see the sky in perfect clarity, as if the roof isn't even there. Around the room sit 12 figures, older, wise-looking, dressed in robes of different colors, each color representing a different specialty, a different area of knowledge. At the center sits High Priestess Mira. Her hair is white, her eyes dark and deep. She's been leading Atlantis for longer than most can remember. She radiates power and authority, but also compassion. Arya, Mira says, and her voice fills the room without being loud. You have something to share. Arya steps forward. Rebecca feels her heart pounding. I've been studying the energy patterns, Arya begins. Running calculations, checking the crystal network. And there's a problem. A big one. The council members lean forward, listening. We're pulling too much power, Arya continues. From the earth, from the core. We've been doing it for generations, and the planet has been stable. But something's changing. The plates beneath us are shifting. The pressure is building. If we don't reduce our energy consumption, if we don't shut down some of the major crystals, I believe we're risking a catastrophic event. Silence fills the chamber. Then one of the council members speaks. A man in red robes. Reduce our power usage. Do you know what you're suggesting? Our entire civilization runs on this energy. Our technology, our healing centers, our transportation, everything. I know, Arya says. But if we don't make changes, we might lose everything anyway. Another council member, a woman in green, shakes her head. We've been using this technology for thousands of years without incident. Why would it fail now? Because we've grown, Arya argues. Our population has increased. Our power demands have increased. The earth can only give so much before something breaks. Mira raises a hand, and the room falls silent again. What you're suggesting would require major changes to our way of life. We would need proof, solid evidence that the danger is real and immediate. The earthquakes, Arya says desperately, they've been increasing. Small ones, but more frequent. That's the evidence. The planet is warning us. Earthquakes are natural, the man in red argues. They've always happened. That doesn't mean our technology is causing them. The debate continues. Back and forth, some council members are concerned, others are dismissive. But, in the end, they decide to do nothing, to wait, to study the issue further, to not make any rash decisions that could disrupt society. Arya leaves the chamber defeated. Kale walks beside her, silent. They should have listened, Arya says quietly. They're afraid, Kale replies. Change is always frightening, especially when it means giving up comfort and power. Days pass. Arya continues her work, monitoring the energy patterns, watching the data with growing alarm. The earthquakes are getting stronger, more frequent. The crystal network is showing signs of strain, fluctuations, instabilities. She tries to warn people, friends, family, colleagues. Some listen, most don't. Life in Atlantis is good. Why worry about predictions of doom from one young scientist? She spends her mornings in the temple district, where the largest crystals stand. These are the primary power sources, massive structures that pulse with energy drawn from deep within the earth. She places her hands on them, feeling their rhythm, their frequency, and what she feels terrifies her. The crystals are vibrating at a rate that's slightly off, like a musical note that's just a bit flat. To most people, it's imperceptible, but to someone trained like Arya, it's a scream of warning. She documents everything, creates detailed reports, shows them to anyone who will look. The data is clear. The energy signature is becoming unstable. The tectonic plates beneath the island are under unprecedented stress. The magnetic field around Atlantis is fluctuating in ways it never has before. But people are comfortable. They've lived in paradise for so long that the concept of it ending is unthinkable. Their entire worldview is built on the permanence of their civilization. The idea that it could all disappear is too frightening to consider seriously. Arya spends sleepless nights walking the city streets, memorizing every detail. The way the moonlight reflects off the crystal spires, the sound of water flowing through the aqueducts, the laughter of children playing in the plazas, the scent of night-blooming flowers in the gardens. She knows, deep in her soul, that she's witnessing the last days of something beautiful. She visits the Great Library, a structure that houses all the knowledge Atlantis has accumulated over millennia. Scrolls and tablets and crystal storage devices containing history, science, philosophy, art. She tries to convince the librarians to make copies, to send records to other lands, to preserve what they've learned, but they look at her like she's lost her mind. Why would the library need backup? It's been standing for 3,000 years. It will stand for 3,000 more. Kale tries to help her. He speaks to his contacts in the government, tries to get another hearing with the council, but the doors are closed now. Arya has been labeled an alarmist, a fearmonger, someone whose anxiety is clouding her judgment. They send her to healers who try to calm her mind, balance her energy, help her see that she's overreacting. She sits in those healing chambers, crystals humming around her, while well-meaning practitioners tell her to release her fear and trust in the wisdom of the universe. And she wants to scream, because she's not afraid, she's informed. There's a difference between paranoia and pattern recognition. Then one morning, Arya wakes to a sound, a deep groaning from beneath the earth. The entire building shakes, not gently, hard. Things fall from shelves, cracks appear in walls. She runs outside. The sky is dark with clouds that weren't there the night before. The ocean in the distance looks wrong, rough, angry, and the towers, the beautiful crystal towers, they're humming, loudly. The sound is almost painful. People are in the streets now, confused, scared, asking what's happening, and then it hits. A massive earthquake. The ground doesn't just shake, it waves, like water. Buildings sway, some fall, the sound is deafening, screaming, crashing, the crystal towers shattering one by one, exploding in bursts of light and sound. Arya is thrown to the ground. She covers her head as debris rains down around her. When the shaking finally stops, she looks up. The city is destroyed. Half the towers are gone. Buildings have collapsed. Fires are burning. And worst of all, the ocean is doing something impossible. It's pulling back, retreating from the shore, exposing ocean floor that hasn't seen sunlight in thousands of years. Arya knows what this means. She's studied enough, read enough. This is a tsunami warning. The water is pulling back so it can come crashing forward with devastating force. Run, she screams. Get to high ground. Now. Some people listen. They run. Others are too injured, too shocked, too confused. They stand and stare at the exposed ocean floor, wondering at the strange sight. Arya runs through the streets, helping who she can, pulling people from rubble, guiding them toward the mountains that rise behind the city. Kale finds her. Together they work, saving who they can. But there are too many injured, too many trapped, too many in shock. And then the water comes back. It starts as a line on the horizon, dark, growing, a wall of water taller than the highest tower, moving faster than anything should be able to move. Go, Kale shouts, pushing Arya toward higher ground. I'll get these people. No. Arya grabs his arm. Come with me. But Kale shakes his head. Someone has to stay. Someone has to help them. Go, please. Survive this. Tell the story. Make sure people know what happened here. Make sure they learn from our mistakes. Arya wants to argue, wants to refuse, but the water is getting closer. The sound of it is like thunder, like the world ending. She runs, tears streaming down her face, legs burning, heart breaking. She runs up the mountain path, climbing higher and higher. Behind her, she can hear it. The wave hitting the city. The sound of everything being destroyed. Everything beautiful. Everything advanced, everything they'd built over thousands of years, being wiped away in seconds. She reaches a plateau, turns to look back, and watches her world die. The water crashes over the city like a fist. Buildings that survived the earthquake are torn apart. The crystal towers, what's left of them, are swept away like twigs. And the people, the thousands of people who didn't make it out, they're gone, just gone, swallowed by the ocean that used to be their friend. Arya falls to her knees. She can't breathe, can't think. The grief is too big, too heavy. Everyone she knows, everyone she loves, her friends, her colleagues, Kale, all gone, and worse. She knew, she warned them, she told them this could happen. And they didn't listen. They chose comfort over safety, power over wisdom. And now they're paying the price. She stays on that mountain for days, watching, waiting, hoping. But the water doesn't recede. The city doesn't reappear. It's just ocean now. Angry, churning, ocean, covering everything. Other survivors find her, not many. Maybe 100 out of hundreds of thousands. They huddle together, build fires, share food, mourn. And Arya makes a promise, to Kale, to everyone who died. She promises to remember, to tell the story, to make sure that if humanity ever rises again, if civilization ever reaches these heights again, they'll know what happened here. They'll know the danger of taking too much, of using power without wisdom, of ignoring warnings because change is uncomfortable. She sees it all clearly now. Atlantis didn't fall because of bad luck or divine punishment. It fell because of choices, because people chose their comfort over truth, because leaders chose political stability over necessary action, because a whole civilization decided that maintaining their lifestyle was more important than listening to those who saw danger coming. And the cruelest part is that it didn't have to happen. They had time, they had knowledge, they had the technology to adapt. All they needed was the will to change. But change is hard. Change requires sacrifice. Change means admitting you were wrong. And pride, collective pride, destroyed them more completely than any earthquake or tsunami ever could. Arya understands something in this moment that will follow her through every lifetime after. The greatest danger to any civilization isn't external. It's not invaders or natural disasters or disease. It's the internal blindness, the refusal to see, the choice to remain comfortable even when comfort leads to destruction. She spends the rest of that life trying to fulfill her promise. She travels to other lands, shares the story of Atlantis. Some people believe her. Most think she's crazy, but she keeps telling it anyway, until she's old, until her voice is weak, until finally she dies, still remembering, still mourning, still carrying the weight of a civilization that destroyed itself. And then she's somewhere else, between lives, in the space where souls rest and reflect and plan their next journey, and she sees it all from a higher perspective. She sees that Atlantis wasn't a failure, it was a lesson, one that humanity needed to learn, one that would be remembered, even if only in myths and legends and the unconscious memory of the collective. She sees that she chose to be there, chose to witness the fall, chose to carry the story forward, not as punishment, as service, as love for humanity in its long, difficult journey toward wisdom. And she sees that she'll be back, again and again, in different forms, different times, always carrying that same message, that same warning: use power wisely, respect the earth, listen to those who see what others don't let comfort blind you to danger. She'll be back until humanity finally learns, until they finally build a civilization that doesn't destroy itself, until they finally find the balance between power and wisdom that Atlantis never achieved. Rebecca opens her eyes in the practitioner's office. Her face is wet with tears. Her chest aches. She can still feel it, the grief, the loss, the weight of watching everything end. Take your time, the practitioner says softly. Rebecca sits up slowly. It was real, she whispers. Atlantis was real. I was there. I watched it fall. She tells the practitioner everything: the city, the crystals, the warning, the council that wouldn't listen, Kale, the wave, all of it. As she talks, pieces start clicking into place. Things about her current life that never made sense before. Her obsession with environmental issues, her frustration when people ignore climate warnings, her recurring nightmares about water, about drowning, about cities being destroyed, her inexplicable anxiety when she hears certain sounds, like deep rumbling, or the crash of waves, her strange comfort with crystals, always drawn to them in stores, keeping them around her house without really knowing why. It all came from Atlantis. From Arya, from that life where she tried to warn people and failed. Do you understand why you remembered this now? The practitioner asks. Rebecca nods slowly. Because it's happening again. Not exactly the same, but similar. We're using too much. Taking too much from the earth, ignoring the warnings. And the people who see the danger, We're being ignored just like I was ignored then. She feels the weight of it, the responsibility, but also clarity, purpose. She understands now why she's always felt this urgency, this need to speak up, to warn people, to make them see it's not just about this lifetime. It's about all the lifetimes, all the times humanity has risen and fallen, all the chances we've had to get it right. Over the following weeks, Rebecca changes, not dramatically, but fundamentally. She starts speaking up more at work, at home, in her community, about sustainability, about respecting the planet, about listening to scientists and experts instead of dismissing them because their message is uncomfortable. Some people think she's become annoying, preachy, too intense, but she doesn't care anymore. She's not doing this for popularity. She's doing this because she remembers what happens when warnings are ignored. She's doing this because she loves humanity too much to stay silent. She starts volunteering with environmental organizations, teaching her daughter about conservation, making changes in her own life to reduce her impact. Small things, big things, whatever she can do. And she starts recognizing others, people who carry the same intensity, the same urgency, the same strange knowing. She wonders how many of them are like her. How many of them remember Atlantis or other fallen civilizations. How many of them are here now, trying again, hoping this time humanity will listen. She joins online groups for people interested in past lives and ancient civilizations. She's shocked by how many people have similar memories: Atlantis, Lemuria, Mu, other places with other names, all lost, all destroyed, all remembered by souls who were there and came back to try again. She has conversations with these people, deep conversations about past lives and soul missions and why we keep coming back. And she finds that she's not alone. There are thousands of them, maybe millions, all remembering, all working, all hoping. One woman she meets online shares a memory almost identical to Rebecca's. Same crystal towers, same council meeting, same tsunami. They compare notes, finding detail after detail that matches. Neither of them could have known these things. Neither of them read them anywhere. They just remember. And finding each other, validating each other's memories, it's healing in a way Rebecca can't describe. She starts writing, journaling at first, then blog posts, then articles, sharing what she remembers, sharing the lessons she learned, sharing the warning that Atlantis left behind. Some people mock her, call her crazy, but others reach out, thank her, tell her that her words woke something up in them, made them remember, made them want to do better. One night, she stands on the beach where she first had the vision, the same beach where this whole journey started. She looks out at the ocean and feels Arya standing beside her, not as a separate person, as part of herself, the part that remembers, the part that knows. We're still here, Rebecca whispers to the waves. We're still trying. And maybe this time we'll get it right. The ocean doesn't answer. It just keeps moving, eternal and patient, holding its secrets beneath the surface. Somewhere down there, the ruins of Atlantis still exist, buried under sand and time. Physical proof of what once was, what was lost, what humanity is capable of building and destroying. But Rebecca doesn't need physical proof anymore. She has something better. She has memory. She has knowing. She has purpose. And she has hope. Because yes, we've fallen before. Yes, we've made terrible mistakes. Yes, we've destroyed civilizations through arrogance and ignorance. But we're still here, still learning, still growing, still trying. Her daughter joins her on the beach. She's 12 now, old enough to understand some things. Rebecca has been teaching her slowly, not overwhelming her, just planting seeds, showing her how to respect nature, how to listen to warnings, how to value wisdom over comfort. Mom, her daughter says, do you really think you lived in Atlantis? Rebecca considers this. I think I lived somewhere amazing, somewhere advanced, somewhere that made mistakes. And I think I'm here now to help us not make those same mistakes. Her daughter nods, accepting this. Do you think we'll be okay? Our world, I mean. Rebecca looks at her daughter's face, so young, so full of possibility. I think we have a chance, a real chance. Because more people are waking up, more people are remembering, more people are choosing differently. It's not too late, not yet. And she believes this. Not blindly, not naively, but with the wisdom of someone who has seen both the worst and the best of what humanity can do. She's seen civilization at its peak and watched it fall. But she's also seen survivors rebuild. She's seen people learn. She's seen consciousness evolve. Maybe we're not doomed to repeat the same cycles forever. Maybe each time we rise and fall, we learn a little more. We grow a little wiser. We get a little closer to balance. Maybe Atlantis had to fall so that future civilizations could learn from it. Maybe every failure is actually a lesson encoded in the collective memory. Maybe that's the whole point. Not perfection, but evolution. Slow, painful, necessary evolution. Rebecca takes her daughter's hand. They walk along the shore together as the sun sets. And Rebecca thinks about Arya, about Kale, about all the people of Atlantis who died trying to live their best lives in the world they knew. She forgives them. She forgives the council for not listening. She forgives the people for not believing. She forgives herself for not being able to save them, because blame doesn't help. Guilt doesn't help. What helps is learning, growing, doing better, being the wisdom that Atlantis never achieved. She's not carrying the weight of failure anymore. She's carrying the gift of memory, the honor of bearing witness, the sacred duty of speaking truth, and that, she finally understands, is why souls keep coming back. Not because we're being punished, not because we failed, but because we care, because we love this world and these people enough to keep trying, to keep showing up, to keep holding the light even in the darkest times. Atlantis lives on, in everyone who remembers, in everyone who warns, in everyone who chooses wisdom over comfort, in everyone who speaks up even when no one wants to listen. The city is gone, but its lesson remains. And that lesson is being whispered by thousands of souls who were there, who remember, who came back to make sure we get it right this time. Rebecca is one voice in that chorus, one light in that network, one soul carrying one piece of the truth. And together, all those voices, all those lights, all those souls, maybe they'll be enough. Maybe this time, humanity will listen. Maybe this time, we'll find the balance. Maybe this time, we'll build something that lasts, not because it refuses to change, but because it knows how to evolve. That's the hope. That's the mission. That's why she's here. And she keeps speaking, keep warning, keep loving, until the very end, just like she did in Atlantis, just like she'd do in whatever comes next. Because that's what souls do. They keep trying, they keep caring, they keep coming back, again, and again, and again, until we finally get it right. If something stirred in you while listening to this, if Atlantis felt like a memory instead of a story, maybe you were there too. Maybe you were one of the ones who remembers, and maybe you're here now to help us choose differently, to help us learn from the past and build a future that honors both power and wisdom. Watch the next video to continue the journey.